Well, hello everyone. It's Roy Carter here. I'm here in Cyprus with a good friend of mine who also lives in Cyprus and fellow marketer, Mark Vurnum.
Oh, yeah.
We've known each other for a
number of years now.
Yeah, too long probably. I'm about to leave Cyprus to pop over to Australia, where I'm speaking at the World Internet Summit in just a few days' time, actually. But I was out with Mark over dinner the other night, and we were discussing what Mark's been doing recently. And I've been keeping a close eye, actually, on what Mark's been doing over the last 6 or 7 months, because it's kind of intrigued me. It's not something that I myself have sort of been very knowledgeable about in the past, but it is something that's kind of taken off. And Mark has got involved, and as he does, he's started to get some really, really good results. Now, what I'm going to be doing myself is I'm going to be going over to Australia, as I say, and I'm going to be living in Australia. I'm going to be living in a place called Magnetic Island. And what I've been trying to do for ages is to convince Mark to come over and explain to some of my people exactly, well, to put on a workshop actually for my people about this intriguing little thing, which I'll let you talk about in a minute, that he's got going, because you've actually got some incredible case studies, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, for me it's about, firstly, not really a hardship being invited over to Australia. So I was like, I know you've been on at me and you went out last year and you've got to come over, you've got to come over. So I said, okay, let's come over. But then obviously we started looking at this and I started telling you some of the things that obviously I've been doing with my business, but most importantly what I've been doing with students that I've been working with.
That's right.
And the sort of results they're getting. And when I started telling you about this, you were like, wow, you know, that's amazing results. How do you get those sort of numbers? You know, why are these people achieving? Would you be prepared to share it with other people? And I'm like, well, no, I'm not out there selling products on this. I'm not out there selling information courses or doing big ClickBank launches with it. Why? Because obviously it's so powerful. I don't want everyone knowing it. So hence, when you said to me, well, firstly, do you want to come over to Australia, which is a hardship, I know. And I said, oh, well,
It was a magnetic island, you know, I mean.
I always jokingly say with magnetic island, I've never understood what the pull is before, but there you go.
Yeah.
So obviously we got talking, and you sort of said, well, okay, why don't you come over and kind of do a workshop? And I said, well, yeah, sure. Let's look at this idea and see if people firstly are interested, because I know obviously your guys are people that are taking action, are getting results, and if we can help them get better results and build a business and additional income streams around what you're teaching them to supplement that, they can grow, you know, one business, but also this side of the business, which is something different that nobody else really seems to be doing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I actually mentioned, and you'll find out a little bit more in a second or two what this is actually about, but I actually spoke to one of my mentoring clients in the UK the other day about the fact that if I could convince you to actually finally come and do it and run the workshop over there for 3 days, and I was explaining to him what it was about and kind of some of the success that some of Mark's students have been getting with this, and very quickly as well. As I say, people who've sort of never got involved in it before are very quickly getting results. Anyway, I was explaining this to one of my mentoring clients in the UK, and he is already telling me, you know, asking me the dates. It's going to be around the 8th or 9th of June, maybe sort of mid-June-ish this year. It'll be a 3-day workshop, and he's actually already wanting to book his flights out there. So he's going to come from the UK to Australia. Now, that's the kind of mindset of the people that we're looking for, really. I mean, you know, the people who are sort of interested will not let distance get involved and be a problem for them. Obviously, I've got mentoring clients in Australia as well who are almost certainly definitely going to come along. And we really just wanted to gauge interest. So, Mark, do you want to sort of now tell everyone what exactly they can expect from the 3-day workshop?
Sure.
What it's about?
Essentially, it's my business model, but with a big proviso, because I've been working in lead generation, internet marketing fields for 9 plus years now, full time. And the big thing I discovered last year, at the start of last year, around a year ago now, was that Google with local has really changed a lot and is only going to get more and more valuable to local businesses. So obviously you've no doubt seen loads and loads of offers and people emailing you about sell to local businesses internet marketing services. But when I looked at that and started approaching businesses, it just didn't work. They didn't understand that, you know, it's all about selling, links and #1 in Google. Most business owners don't understand the value of being #1 in Google. But,
that was the difference to me, Mark. I mean, because we probably all know that the world and his wife are sort of leaping onto this sort of offline thing and saying, you know, you can make an awful lot of money doing it. But you know and I know that a lot of what's out there, and I've seen a lot of what's out there because I get approached all the time about promoting people's products and things like that. So I've seen what's out there, and it's not really interested me at all, because I know and you know that a lot of what's being taught doesn't work.
No.
So sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. Well, as I say, we both come from previously corporate backgrounds, so we know business and we know proper offline business, if that makes sense, and we know what that entails and what business owners wanted to see. So I took that and realised that the biggest thing out there was Google Places. Now the reason was because when you looked at trying to do, say, local sites that maybe you would own yourself and then sell advertising on, Google now put Places above those. If you search for a plumber in Adelaide or whatever, you'll find that Places comes up first. So what we started doing was working not so much on the technical side, because that's fairly easy to do. The technical bit of getting Google to show that Places page actually is fairly easy to do. But work on the sales and marketing system to drive an unlimited number of clients, basically, but one that could be replicated. So I started doing this and building my business, and I now only actually sell to corporate companies where they have 100 plus listings, and we start billing monthly, etc., for managing that listing to get them a great result. Because if you're selling Google Places, that's what's going to get the best result for the business owner. So therefore, they're happy then to buy other products and services from you.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about Google Places, but it's the thing that you should be selling in first. So my system, what I generated over that year, was all about 12 steps that I discovered. I'm not going to go into all 12 steps now, because that would take me about half an hour. But I essentially look at the entire business process and mapped it out. I then took 20 students through 4 weeks of a weekly webinar for 4 weeks, and over 72% of those people actually made $1,500 or more. And we've got it proven and everything's all verifiable. The reason the other people didn't make any money was, guess what? They didn't take action. Now, I know you guys are not like that. If you're watching this video, you're obviously taking some action. And that's it. This is the key. It's all about the right mentality, as Roy's mentioned. If you take action, you will get results with this program and how I've developed it. Because it isn't about me trying to ram you into my 12-step system and saying, look, go and cold call businesses because that's what I know works. Yeah. What I do is work with students and make sure that we give the system that works no matter whatever your skill sets are. So if you're great at cold calling, go cold calling. Yeah. If you're great at writing copy, write direct mail to businesses. If you're great at email marketing, do that as well. Doesn't matter what you do, realistically. We've got templates and systems for all that. But essentially what I found was, working through this 12-step system, I can take people from earning no money, with no contacts, no businesses involved, etc., through to getting some great results literally within a week, 2 weeks, a month, etc.
Well, this is kind of what's obviously intrigued me, and I've seen some of the results that your students have achieved. But what I liked was the fact, what really interested me was how different it was to everything else that's out there, really. Because your approach is so much different in terms of everything I've seen to do with trying to attract clients offline and do business with people offline and create a business, really, where you are supplying an offline service to offline customers, or an online service to offline customers. It's all been very similar, and it intrigued me just how different your approach was in terms of getting those new clients, and as you say, allowing complete newbies, complete new people to this, to use what they're already good at, or use the skills that they've got. Do you want to talk a little bit, Mark, for the benefit of people, just in terms of some of the specific results your guys have got?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a number of case studies that, once you watch this video, just scroll a bit further down and you'll see them all there. Just some of the students that I've been working with this 12-step system and how powerful it is. But as I say, some of the guys that I've worked with basically have been getting tremendous results. Others have been getting results. The big difference is, which really surprised you more than anything, was 100% of the people that I work with have got results if they take action. That's the big key. So if you take action, I know you're going to start closing business owners, sometimes within a day, within a week, within a month, usually within the first couple of weeks, most people find. So a couple of case studies I'll give you. I could go through, again, for hours on case studies, but we'll give you a couple. First one was a guy called John Castro. And again, all this is verifiable. I'm not hiding anything. Feel free to email these people. Their contact addresses are at the bottom of each case study as well. He basically went out and was selling Facebook fan pages and all that kind of stuff, web design, etc. Not really getting that much business, but more importantly was being told, well, that's all very well, John, as a business owner, but I've just had someone call me who can do a web design job for £500 and you're trying to charge me £1,200. So why should I work with you? So they were looking at it as really a commodity basis to say, well, look, John's value was that, he was good at sales, but he was selling kind of the wrong product. So immediately he started working with me, and within literally one phone call we started, and we've done a follow-up phone call. Within a week, he went out and closed a deal worth 6,200 American dollars. So I don't quite know how it works out in equation, but similar, isn't it, to Australian? Literally just by doing one thing differently. Obviously, it was selling Google Places first, but the way he sold it, how he sold it, etc. So that was John, and now he's building a business that is growing. He's got a marketing system in place that basically now means if he wants to essentially, earn 10,000, 5,000 a month, he just knows exactly what he's got to do, because he knows for every, say, 100 of that activity that he does, he gets 3 sales, 5 sales, 10 sales.
Yeah.
And it's the big misnomer out there with internet marketing and selling to offline businesses is, just send them an email and they'll buy. Send them an email and they call you up.
That's right.
They just don't. So that's John. Another guy who's been getting great results was Sam. And Sam Georgeson, again, you can contact Sam directly and you can verify all this. Again, another guy who was looking at offline, hadn't quite got started, then started getting started, going out to business owners, again, not getting orders, got the odd client here or there for a bit of a Facebook fan page and this other stuff. Tried loads of different techniques that he found on Warrior Forum, things like that, to try and get clients. Just didn't work for him. So again, because we applied the system that I've got, which is all about, the majority of it is about sales and marketing. That's the key to this. So you can find now things like on Fiverr and things like that, pretty much anyone to do any of the technical work. I've also got obviously the exact step-by-step system that we use to manage all the Google Places stuff to get the result as well. So just that as a side, we still teach all that. But the focus is all about sales and marketing. So again, Sam, same thing there. Within literally an hour of talking to him on one call, we changed what he'd done slightly, made some amendments, gave him a marketing system to go out and approach clients in a different way. And he actually came up and worked with a system that for every 20 businesses that he contacts in this particular way, with this particular piece of direct mail, he gets 12 of them called him back. So imagine that. You send out 20 of this thing, and 12 business owners call you up interested in what you're doing. Now, obviously, that's kind of where then the system can really help you, because we've got a system of how to close a sale, how to position a sale, how to price, how to continue to get a monthly income, etc., all through that. So there's just 2 guys to say, but obviously have a look down, there's plenty more below that.
That's great. I know you've got lots of them. Yeah, I mean, that intrigued me as well, the way you've turned it around. So you've got the pull marketing going on, so you've got actually, customers calling your guys rather than the other way around.
It's hard work if you're doing like cold calling or sending out loads of letters and getting no response back. Yeah. It's training.
Well, I mean, let's face it, we do know that there's a lot of people out there potentially trying to do business with offline clients, and and I know that you can walk into any high street business and they will have seen 4 or 5 people probably that week trying to sell them services online. Yeah. And I love the way that your stuff differentiates it. But just to sort of wind this thing up, the whole idea of all this is that I'm right in saying, aren't I, that you've never actually run a 3-day workshop before on this?
This isn't really available anywhere. I've not sold it anywhere. You can't buy this as a product anywhere. So it literally is, because you're always asking me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could be interested in that. But again, let's be blunt, the reason I get results with my students is I have the right people there.
Sure. And
these are people like Roy just said, that guy who's flying from England, he's prepared to take action and follow it through. Let's be blunt about it. If you're not prepared to take action and not follow through on things, you're not going to get those results. But if you do, I know you will, because of this system that we've got works time and time again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the upshot to this is that we've actually got. We're looking at a 3-day workshop. It's going to be on Magnetic Island, where I will be. So we'll be hanging out for 3 days on Magnetic Island. It'll be a 3-day workshop. And what we're really interested in at this stage, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Australia, of course, if you are, you've got an advantage, or New Zealand, but wherever you are on the planet, you should do whatever you can to get to this workshop, to this 3-day workshop. What we're interested in at the moment, though, is we basically want you to hold your hands up and say whether you are or aren't interested in this, because effectively it's not going to be a kind of like 100 people event or anything like that. We're not going to do that, are we?
Exactly.
We're going to make it more intimate than that.
Well, the reason is, again, I know that if I can work with you as an individual, I'm going to get much better results. Now, if I put 100 of you in the room and teach this method too, I'm not going to get as good results whereas if we've only got 10, 20, 30 people in a room. So I know for a fact it won't be any more than 30. It will be less than that. And obviously, again, if it's over 3 days, it will be what I teach over 6 months. You'll get condensed down into 3 days. But obviously you'll have me there with you, and we go out to dinner, and obviously Roy will show us around Magnetic Island. I've never been, all the best restaurants, etc. So we'll look after you on that side as well, to make sure that you get all your questions answered. You come away, this is the most important bit, come away with not only a workable plan that you can action, but also then you get me as the ongoing support as well to make sure that you follow through and everything else as well. So it's not just come along for 3 days and a party, it's come along 3 days of quite intensive work and the social side. and then we give you the plan to work.
But I'm right in saying, aren't I, that when people come along and attend the workshop, the 3-day workshop, they are basically going to be going home with a business, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. It's exactly what my students do, what I do as a guy from England.
Yeah.
He's prepared to take action and follow it through. Let's be blunt about it. If you're not prepared to take action and not follow through on things, you're not going to get those results. But
Absolutely.
if you do, I know you will, because of this system that we've got works time and time again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the upshot to this is that we've actually got. We're looking at a 3-day workshop. It's going to be on Magnetic Island, where I will be. So we'll be hanging out for 3 days on Magnetic Island. It'll be a 3-day workshop. And what we're really interested in at this stage, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Australia, of course, if you are, you've got an advantage, or New Zealand, but wherever you are on the planet, you should do whatever you can to get to this workshop, to this 3-day workshop. What we're interested in at the moment, though, is we basically want you to hold your hands up and say whether you are or aren't interested in this, because effectively we're going to. It's not going to be a kind of like 100 people event or anything like that. We're not going to do that, are we?
Exactly.
We're going to make it more intimate than that.
Well, the reason is, again, I know that if I can work with you as an individual, I'm going to get much better results. Now, if I put 100 of you in the room and teach this method too, I'm not going to get as good results whereas if we've only got 10, 20, 30 people in a room. So I know for a fact it won't be any more than 30. It will be less than that. And obviously, again, if it's over 3 days, it will be what I teach over 6 months. You'll get condensed down into 3 days. But obviously you'll have me there with you, and we go out to dinner, and obviously Royal show us around Magnetic Island. I've never been, all the best restaurants, etc. So we'll look after you on that side as well, to make sure that you get all your questions answered. You come away, this is the most important bit, come away with not only a workable plan that you can action, but also then you get me as the ongoing support as well to make sure that you follow through and everything else as well. So it's not just come along for 3 days and a party, it's come along 3 days of quite intensive work and the social side. And then we give you the plan to work.
But I'm right in saying, aren't I, that when people come along and attend the workshop, the 3-day workshop, they are basically going to be going home with a business, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. It's exactly what my students do, what I do as a daily basis. Again, remember, this is something that I do as a business on a daily basis. It's not something that I just teach and I've never done myself, so I know all the objections that you get from business owners, I know all the sort of things, we've worked those into the system to make sure they eradicate those. But yes, you'll come away with an exact plan, things together about pricing and things like that to make it all really worthwhile. I'll give you some extra early bird bonuses as well if you put your name and email in now. And that's really it. As I say, we'll look forward to seeing you on Magnetic Island early June.
Bye for now.
Bye now.